대롱는 가서 다 로마 주와티슨 되게 그때라 난데시니 메시 하고 만들다 자 강타는 다디스 다 sabja 마스톤 잠스 디슬라겐제
Today I'm going to be answering some questions that have come up. I'm not sure if I know the answers or not, but I will do my best.
데네 티는 거 동보드 다 디트와트는 거 동보디 가르지 나초드 다 파치르는 거 엄마 몽보즈 그는 그 Gyatrul Rinpoche 그 줄거드 데네 나초 자게 요다 미 차지간다 있는 디스코르 즉 산록동 요사레 텐데 좋아하는 레고 요사레스.
And so probably the main question that has been coming up for many of Gyatrul Rinpoche's disciples is, will we be searching for a tulku or not, and what is the plan?
단 디스통네 nga chondene 다른 보치 그 닌코르제과 니빈코르 당가 chondene 촉바 총총 다른 보치 그 잡지진 간다네 가서 다음 죽든지요리 당도 청만냠도 카툭 주의네 되네 그런 저 청마그 냠도 탑전에 되는 거라 뒤쪽아 그 란드지 제지마라 샤럭지 제된다 리스크너 제네 된다지레스.
And so a few of Gyatrul Rinpoche's close circle, his household, those who were caring for him and serving him very closely, about 6 or 7 of us, got together and we discussed this, and they asked me to answer this question for all of you.
야, 되니 단디 ndeng이 채나발라 란 피지도 당가 또 청마가 탑자노리 때마도가 키르마 그지 드리제 조텐다치 마레스.
And so we all discussed this and decided it together. It was not just my decision.
되는 것도 청마가 카드 주의노도 가르레제나 더 엄마 다른 보지 공공 근데 전공방 마르소혼 엄마 주기업이네 갖고는 대콩그 다 갈롭된다 노요레 또 엄마 파티 아이라가 통마 증이자 마랍돈요레 되는 파티 이메일 동요진메 이메일 파티 동요지레 그 디노노 그런 거 할리바 카소모 손두스.
And we are kind of basing our decision on what Gyatrul Rinpoche himself said when he was alive. He gave many teachings, and in particular there was one teaching which was released on email over the winter time, one of Gyatrul Rinpoche's teachings that he gave during his life.
근데 공격성 집적 같은 데 되는 가서다 그 주의네 그 간다 제즈죠 디 공격성 집적 같은 데 탑자지아레스.
According to his. Yeah. And so we made our decision based on Gyatrul Rinpoche's own speech, his advice.
딘디디 다 가르레즈나 그 맞소 네컵잔스가 그때 rinpoche 그 줄근 자리한다고 즉 디체도 즉 제한다고 즉 된다 그 지금 차스산 예상마 송시.
And so we concluded that for now we should not be making an effort to search for Rinpoche's tulku or make some kind of plan to discover his tulku.
된다 인디데 그 실등 rinpoche 그런 거 송아 다가 처럼서 정리 쭉 자야 될 돈도치요 말에서 된다 송용레스.
Gyatrul Rinpoche said that there would not be a benefit to searching for his tulku.
데네데 공부 당하라 주크정요지 말인가 지치치부 담바된다 말이서 송용레스.
공다바.
공나지 할레바된다 지부 담바장 말인가 주크요 말이서 된다 송용레스.
He said, I am not a high being, I'm not a great being, so therefore I will not have that kind of tulku.
옛날 때다다 그런 그 강증 잡아래 되네 다 rinpoche 주크면은 슬라주고 요거래 다 주고도 요소서 옛날에 딘초디 그다 상제동 상승 생활인데 심증을 돌아 머신지도 주고 말했어.
But I say that, of course, if someone like Rinpoche would not have a tulku, then who would have a tulku? Of course, Rinpoche will have a tulku, because of course the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas always emanate in many tulkus.
옛날에 그때 주급 자야 동네 그때 람성텔라 거기서 정성 지야텔라 저구바 짐선 침보 메바 공네 때다 손에 인지를 삼고스.
But at the same time, it seems like there is not a great benefit in looking for, in searching for the tulku right away and quickly trying to discover it.
된다인데 발전 되고 된가 손이 갑잔스가 되고 림보치고 줄거든 들에 있어 있다는 대 맵사지 그 되게 탑전도 네 갑된다 지레스.
And so for now, we do not have the plan or the intention to search for his tulku and to recognize, oh, this is the one or that is the one, anything like that. And so, even if we don't search for a tulku, if a real, authentic tulku comes, then he will come, whether we search for him or not. A dog.
Water bird.
Water bird. Okay.
단에 치급샷 르그작티 오디 발접되나 치 요크 삼지 하고 그랬어. 치증도 삼지 하고 그랬어. 가서 되네 떠봤던 통나 오디 잡나 매지 요크 삼지 하고 그랬어. 되네디 그런 소금 잡았던 천리 담받은 심증고 돈지르면 다들 르그담 성지 생활가 르즈리 삼지 하고도 그랬어. 또마토 인지면 직직 문제는 된다면 맞지나 릉도 그랬어.
And so just as if you see a water bird, like a seagull, you know there must be water nearby, or when you see smoke, you know there must be fire. In the same way, when we witness enlightened deeds and enlightened activity, then we know that there is an authentic bodhisattva or a tulku present. And so there are And so it seems like there are a lot of reasons why it is preferable not to search for a tulku. Right now, temporarily at this time. And so that's the answer to the question about Rinpoche's tulku.
되네 저 잠바데 저거 진짜 맞자 저거 문제나데 년전 손립던 돈지 때라직 판독 가래요래 한테 간다진 동거를 가래진 동거래지 된다 직접할래 교사레스.
So then the next question is, well, if we are not searching for Rinpoche's tulku, then what is the point of the swift rebirth prayer?
다 돈석 덤보된 가서 저거 문진지야 그 작은 밀라고요 막더는 뭐지 저거 쇼가 말지 가서 라고요 말했어.
And so we are saying we're not intentionally looking for a tulku, but we're not saying there will be no tulku. It's very good to recite the swift rebirth prayer.
대 성지 남 냥알라 만다 역설한데 바당의 추진쿨로 걸어라서 바대등지 찬다고 그런 거 파연된다 용교래세 다 스트급 쇼나다 가르질구나 다 담바당 샘진고도나 쇼고라 대모토 잠바 쇼고 짐산장 요 말에 딘디 담바당 샘진고도나 쳄쇼로 치제나데 추커와당나 된다 그 파연들 찬다 인지를 삼고던 가는 거 삼로 있는 마토 잠바직 추구나 된다 적송요는 하고 마성단 나름 삼로동나 팔지를 파연도 된다 다운다오 유지를 삼근득스 대납도나 여보요사레스.
And so for me, reciting the swift rebirth prayer is actually very similar to when we recite the seven branch offering, and we ask the Buddhas not to pass into nirvana, and we ask them to remain and turn the Dharma wheel. And so that is really like a sort of a general supplication that they would remain and that their emanations would continue to manifest in many ways. The only reason that they would remain in samsara would be to benefit sentient beings, would be to appear for the sake of beings. And so for me, it really has the same kind of meaning when we recite the Swift Rebirth prayer. It's like asking, please turn the wheel of the Dharma. Now I'm just pretending to answer questions.
That's questions. And then
That
next
question. The next question is, what is the benefit or purpose of gathering to honor the anniversary of a great master? And so generally, when we talk about the anniversary of a Parinirvana, it's not because the great master, such as Rinpoche, needs it. They don't need us to practice. Whether we gather to practice or not, it doesn't benefit or harm our root teacher. Rather, it's for the sake of the students. And so there are two main reasons why honoring the anniversary is important. And one is because of our own personal connection to our root guru. When the root guru passes into parinirvana, at that time it's very important to remember him and to keep our samaya connection.
Lama Drimed Rinpoche.
So this is called the samaya of remembering the Lama, recalling. And so the other important reason for honoring the Decha is because it's our chance to accumulate merit and purify obscurations. And so it discusses this point in the words of my perfect teacher and in many texts, the incredible benefits of recalling our guru and supplicating to our guru. It says, even for a moment, if we supplicate to our root lama with faith and devotion, then there is great benefit. And so, the ngato pendot kare the boom something boom trucks. So compared to reciting many thousands of mantras without remembering the Lama, if we remember the Lama and supplicate one time, there is greater benefit. And so when we gather to practice in this way, we are remembering the root guru with great faith and devotion. We are supplicating to him, and in his presence, then we are reciting these practices. And so it's a very special time for us to remember the Lama very clearly and then practice in his presence in this way.
Lama gonzo titon de la tenne rano so so denda im chopa sham tagate din domban don lama la sura to denda china ti phayong ge chewa ton ti shinla kum rangr jilla shinlan jiba de la ti nirg yores.
And so compared to just our general activities of individually accumulating merit, purifying negativity, compared to that, when the Lama passes into Parinirvana, at that time, if we make offerings and we supplicate and we generate faith and we connect with the Guru, there is much, much greater blessings and greater benefit. And so at the time of the Decho practices, if we supplicate to our own gurus and we make many prayers and we have great faith and devotion, then this is of great benefit. And so that's the answer to that question.
How should we think about Rinpoche now? If he was our root guru, is he still our guru? Are we still connecting to Rinpoche and his blessings? Answer
the And so the question is, now that Rinpoche has passed, if he was our guru or our root guru, then is he still our guru, and how can we connect to his blessings?
Oh yeah, Rinpoche gombar zone guru
So now that Rinpoche has passed into Parinirvana, whether he is our guru or not depends on us.
Rinpoche dong sangji dong shangchu sewa nam ko simchen ze kati na blun dor ko mare ze kati na nga sola turji shan ju yores.
And so Rinpoche, along with all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they never forget or abandon sentient beings. They are constantly holding sentient beings with their wisdom, love, and compassion.
Yonggu se nga so sayu lama gne ta nga so chen distang le dong stem dir ko gong gne ta de nyam tam zum chu song toba tang na lama ni te chirti te yonggu se ne khong ga turji shan gne chen na bala zu yores ni par tak zu yores.
And then especially our root guru, who in this very life we had karmic connection with, we had auspicious interdependent connection to, we learned Dharma from him, we practiced in his mandala and in his presence, and he knew us. Especially, he must be looking upon us with his wisdom and compassion.
The Yinang, the Narong Sogunate, Lama the Mavjit, Runga Tapa Shak Yilla Tangore Mato, the Garunga, Lama the Gombar Zoson, the Lama the Jet Tapa Chir, the Nin Ramada Chik Jonata, Lami Ozigna, Tangason de Yora, Atso Ditsongon and Tapi Alum and Shilog Sungo, Sturgid and Jukamanian Zizotama. The Lama Shang Zigna, Cherong, the Japtan in the Kashan Jujanat, Shanam Jukanian Maris. Thinking around so Lama la Sura Tapa Jatendana, Lama Katina Natsu Lamaris, that Sin distant Margos, Stian Tsiravabd, the song margin, Machik Bartan, the Ronga Lama Inda, or the Lama Mendo Kanyan Maris, at the Rakle Malay Ron La Hakores, Jim Saints.
And so, if the Lama has passed into Parinirvana, if we forget the Lama, if we don't have faith, if we don't supplicate to the Lama, if we think that we are alone, then we are. It all depends on our faith and our devotion in the Lama. And so the Lama is, of course, looking on us with great compassion. He is always there. He is blessing us, showering blessings upon us. But as they say in the teachings, you must have the ring of faith so that the hook of the Guru's blessings has something to hook, something to catch on. And so if we do have faith, if we supplicate to our Guru, and if we remember him, then of course he is our Guru, he will be our Guru until enlightenment, and he is constantly holding us with great compassion.
Oh yeah, Tinda in the day, also Ta Lama Tom Darame Preshinjilo, the Stopang Soran de Piora. The Lama Tom Darame Beshinjilo, the Joti Soran de Jota, Lama Gazukchi Kutan at Mandarjis Chikamaris, the Nipertum Dardogres, Garis in the Lama Gazukchi Kutan Atolata, Chizongan, Natos Nongorla, the Me Nambat, the Mugar Namba Nitashonyora, Mugar Namba Nitashon, the Congo Zukchi Kutan Namhan Galiris, the Namhan Galite, the Mastabara. stop by the burden jim to grace, the Natson of the Garanges. The Tendang at Namangli, Zuchi could the Mandragis and Stickamaratum drag race. The Nangaso carriage in the Lamaton Dharma Preshinjilo Zegonza, Lama Chuchi could on Dharma Preshinjilo, Lama got chew, Lama got took on Darjimate you there. That's not on Gores.
Now you always hear the supplication, oh, may I never be separate from the Guru. We make this supplication all the time. But what does that really mean? Does it mean that we would never be separate from the Guru's body? Of course we will separate from the Guru's body. The Guru is appearing to us as a human being. He came in a form, kaya, and this is like a ripened effect. This is an effect, a cause and effect that we experience, but that will exhaust. That is impermanent. The human form is impermanent, and we will separate from the Guru's human form. And so when we say this prayer, may I never be separate from the Lama, what it actually means is, may I never be separate from the Lama's wisdom mind, from the Lama as the Dharmakaya. And that Lama will never ever leave us. We will never be separated.
Lama gombar zonayam, Lama la tapa jang ichi jang tab, Lami kati na zuyo jire samjete la ichi ji. Tene sora tab, te ronong soso go churgewa ten ermerichiv dribna. Te Lama dan katiyam dargyo mare, tene Lama ka shinlab dan dane tada trivak chingduwa, how nga so Lama ka shinlab de kandachi top go rezi. Te Lama shinlab tirgi top yung rezi.
And so when our Guru passes away, then if we have faith and we have confidence and we supplicate and we do as many virtuous actions and Dharma practice as we possibly can, then certainly our Lama's blessings will be there. And so to answer the question, how do we continue to connect with Rinpoche's blessings? The answer is to do all of these things.
Call the teaching Jason, the no song, the Gare Sonsona Lama Chuchicula, the Sora Gare, the Tatang tank and six much in the Tatankaman to them Dorna, Lama, the Sora Tan, Lama Gonji stop at the Rangajilam Poy on the race, the Kunga Sonsons. Dave's internet, the Kunga Huiji Jason and Jimmy Lombat on the Kimchin Honchanam Jaga Hui Jason. Jimel the Kimchin Chembo Gombar Zoni Lo Mombo Gene, the Ozokan Jimmy Lambanton, Konabasan, Jayo Marita Yina, Kunga Tapas on the Sora Tata, Tanet, and it could Jimmy Shonet, and a con Jisuzon, Shenlam Juk, Tenet, Hongching, Jipan Tenda Shon Race, a Congoson, take around, Tagaron Rones.
And on the first day of these teachings, Lama Sonam Rinpoche said that we supplicate to the Guru as the Dharmakaya. We supplicate to the Guru in that enlightened form. And he gave the example of Jigme Lingpa, whose root guru was Longchenpa, even though Longchenpa lived 200 or 300 years before Jigme Lingpa was even born. But Jigme Lingpa read his teachings and cultivated faith and devotion and practiced and supplicated to him and had great confidence and faith in Longchenpa. And finally, Longchenpa appeared to him. And Longchenpa certainly was holding him with compassion, and his blessings were being received by Jigme Lingpa continuously. And so it's exactly like that.
Dani cherang so loma chang da Rinpoche ja jani ma che ko chu wong chet mong bo top chara dendi de ge ta pa ja da na de shin la men ji ju se ke mares.
And so for Jigme Lingpa, he had never met Longchenpa in the flesh. But all of you saw Gyatrul Rinpoche, you saw him, you met him. Not only that, but you received empowerments, you received Dharma teachings from him, so many different blessings. And so there's so many reasons and ways that you can really have faith and confidence in him.
The Matana and Dukiomare, the Lamada, Nimachiga Tamaching, but the Tangoreta, Nangoinada, Nebdinada, yara longji taina da nepti nyaran kaina da tenda chi lama tan ne sura tap tenda ina te lami shinlab zichi te rimchi te ranga tapa cheche lami shinla chenjik te thar te ranga te o tab lama tanga ni ga tam dar ma yo zo samji to top yo nre ze tenda song dos.
And so it's so important that we remember what were Rinpoche's instructions. What directions did he give us? What orders did he give us? What advice did he give us? We should think about that. We should remember and think about all of our interactions with Rinpoche and what he taught us. And then we should practice as best we can. We should remember Rinpoche again and again, every day. Of course, one time a day, certainly you should definitely be remembering Gyatrul Rinpoche and supplicating to him. But really several times a day, many times a day, when you wake up in the morning, when you go to sleep at night, when you're in the afternoon, in the morning time, in the middle of the day, you should just, as much as you possibly can, constantly be remembering Rinpoche and supplicating to him with faith and devotion. And then if you do this, absolutely his blessings will gradually, slowly but surely be entering into your mind stream and be blessing your mind and all of your activities. And then slowly you'll get to the point where you have confidence that you are truly not separate from the Guru.
Tenda intiti ta nyinsik to rongor jilla yong na to ta chang tapa jina yomna tapa tong nimjong tong sham tong nyorje shangchi go sim a deni stong ne go stava jina zo ching ta coin na dan do na rono so so cha cha chong chong rono so so go te tenbo zik te rongor jilla che yong gres tenda che yong ni zong te to rono so so chi parcher rong go chi hwa dong chi rong sim la chi conference jan de dong do tenda che yong gres tenda che charni zong te tene da chi nga so tong som mongpo zik ne sim gna ji rdungar tong chora mongpo zing duga te so chongma rong sing ga tong do gre se tang sang ga ma ga mongpo zik sim ga chora dir de ga chora te da shilo na yong yong duga ma shilo ne ma ji ga cho yong pon de zena lam sang pe ga ne yaram chong do gundu cho chi gn dik man de zena lam sang rdug ne te ne ngun do duga te te nga so sim ga dong ne to so de min do gre se gare zena ta rong sim na dong zo yo charni zong te tene ta mag chor dupore jena tanga so ronglorong la ko to ma chirari onga ko to je gnd tanga ner dupo men samjerang ga ha ko ti te je demo yu da jang nan dukure che sem chu che go mares ate me jamba zo cho chu ha le pa yong po zre jena ta rang ga ten tanga ti yong po andung mun du ta te ne nga ngone tinda yonda yodan o ta korong la te dem bare sam dem rang atenda mit jamba tenda lo na tanga te la yo mare da ni na ko so tenda la kun du da 다 된다고 연던 요질랑 알금 받날 가사리 삼네 텝삼노 동지 마토 때라 지 람선 가가 토토 제정 요 말에 세텐다 인디데 렁가 셈나 동촌도 갈레 톱네 되네 된다 톱지티 판연동 연던 가르이즈나 되는 가서 시롤 그 일진데 가서 셈나 셈급 데르고 초라달라 시라 주도 제 톱요 말에서.
And so we should also do our best to cultivate in our own minds all of the qualities such as faith, the mind of renunciation, the mind of love and compassion for beings. And according to our own training and what we are connected with, we should cultivate the view of emptiness or the view of Ati Yoga Dzogchen, or whatever dharma that we have learned. We should be really trying to generate all of these in our own mind. And in our own mind, we should do our best to cultivate a state of confidence and faith. There are a lot of people who suffer from depression or all sorts of mental afflictions. And the Dharma has the power to dispel these kinds of afflictions. If we really have confidence in the Dharma in our own minds, we can dispel all sorts of afflictions and negativity. But it's really through training and practicing and learning and applying all these things to our own minds. We can slowly get to the point where we rely less on outer things, outer appearances, or how we are treated by others, what we encounter in the world, and where we rely more on our inner landscape of faith and devotion and understanding of the Dharma and confidence and compassion. And so, for example, if someone says to you, oh, you are very bad, and they insult you and they point out your faults and they're very critical of you, if you have a good sort of understanding of the Dharma, then you can just take that in and you can think about it. Oh, maybe they're right. Maybe I have some faults that need to be eliminated. Or, oh, maybe they're wrong. Maybe they're misjudging and I'm actually a good person. And either way, you can learn from the situation. And instead of reacting and becoming upset with how you're treated, you can just take it as a chance to learn a little bit more about yourself. And at the same time, if someone says, oh, you are so amazing, you are so good and wonderful, then you can look and see if that is true. If it's true, and if you really do have some qualities, then you can be happy. Happy that you have those good qualities. But if it's not true, then you can think to yourself, oh, that's not really true, and then you can be humble. Either way, you can have humility and confidence, and you won't get carried away feeling like you have to show off or get proud or pop up. And so when we practice the Dharma, it's more about looking at and working with our own mind. And when we do that, then all of the external circumstances, they have less effect on us. They don't take us by surprise, and they don't knock us off our balance nearly so easily. And so the outer world becomes less and less powerful for us, and our own inner Dharma practice becomes more and more powerful.
도심 토그는 뭐가 롱데 찌찌찌찌 뜨진 로고 그랬어. 롱 원에데 뜨지 톰 로고 그랬어.
And so finally, as our Dharma practice really gains strength, then we develop real freedom. If we want to find real freedom, then this is it.
된다래서 디니데 다 라마락 소란 딥지다 다빠적지된 뎀초 그네가서 성랑랑 소소가 차트 총토이 되건 처지다는 소란 딥지도 된다지래서 디니 파치 또 때마도 나라 망보지셔야만 그 파치 저런 저거 안스령 디능하고 엄문도 삼근득스.
And so, once again, we should always be supplicating to our Guru and cultivating faith and devotion, cultivating our own Dharma understanding. And other than this, there isn't too much to do. And so that's my answer to that question. I hope I've answered that question.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.